You've seen Peppa Pig 100 times, but have you ever wondered about the strange and hidden details in every episode? We're talking about strange details and moments that make you question everything you thought you knew about Peppa's world. In Peppa Pig, all the animals, despite their nature, live in harmony, but Mr. Wolf might be an exception. Throughout the series, we've seen Mr. Wolf show his evil intentions numerous times. For example, in one of the episodes, Daddy Pig and Mr. Wolf decide to go on a picnic. But first they have to cross a river in a boat. As they travel, Daddy Wolf keeps mentioning how hungry he is.
I'm really hungry now.
And looks at Daddy Pig in a rather unusual way. Although he might just be eyeing the picnic basket, it doesn't seem so. It seems like he's more interested in Daddy Pig than the food inside the picnic basket. And there's more. In another episode, Daddy Pig builds a house for the Wolf family. And when Mr. Wolf comes to check the house, he makes a joke about the material used to build the house.
What's it made of? Straw? Sticks?
And if you don't know, that joke is a reference to the story of 3 little pigs. Looking at all these details, one might think that Mr. Wolf is actually a predator. But we can't say that for sure. Have you ever noticed that something is a little strange with how time works in the world of Peppa Pig? We've seen so many Christmas episodes, but Peppa and George are always the same age. It's like a year passes, but they never get any older. And even stranger fact is when their new baby sister, Evie, is born and comes home as a tiny baby, Peppa is still 4 and George is still 2. It's as if their world is stuck in a time loop. It makes you wonder, now that Evie is born, will time finally start to move forward? In the world of Peppa Pig, there's a big mystery about wild animals. Even though we haven't seen a wild animal so far, but there are definitely some wild animals roaming around in Peppa's world. Throughout the episodes, we notice that the characters sometimes show a fear of wild animals in different ways. In the episode Zoo, when Peppa's playgroup is about to enter the zoo, we hear Madame Gazelle say they are about to see some wild animals.
Wild animals.
But in the episode, they actually don't see any. But what exactly are they afraid of? Is it wolves, lions, tigers, and bears? Could there be secret jungles or hidden forests nearby where these mysterious wild animals play? The thought of these hidden creatures makes every episode a little more exciting and leaves us curious about the wild side of Peppa's world, just waiting to be discovered. Now, this next mystery about Peppa Pig is rather a funny one. Why do all the characters fall down when they laugh? Most of us have probably noticed at some point, whenever Peppa Pig's characters laugh, they fall down. Can you imagine if this happened in real life? Everyone falling down while laughing. Everyone would be walking around wearing a knee pad and a helmet. But seriously, why do they fall down when they laugh? We need to know this. In one of the episodes, the pig family is watching Mr. Potato on television. Mr. Potato is doing an exercise program, but here's where it gets really weird. Mr. Potato encourages his viewers to eat a healthy diet, which includes a lot of fruits and vegetables. Mr. Potato knows he's a vegetable, right? So, is this a talking animal in a costume? Or does Mr. Potato have the distinction of being the only ginormous living vegetable in this place? Pretty weird, isn't it? Mr. Fox is one of the most suspicious characters in Peppa Pig. And in one of the episodes, Grandpa Pig puts his chickens to sleep. And when he turns to the side, Mr. Fox simply appears out of nowhere. That's really suspicious. As we all know, foxes are notorious for attacking the farms during nighttime. So, Mr. Fox wandering around the chicken coop at night might be hinting at something. Similarly, in the episode The Police Station, we see some posters outside the police station. In the poster, we can see 2 fox symbols, one on each side. This might mean that Mr. Fox is wanted by the police because in his shop, all his items have his sticker, which closely resembles what's on the poster. This all looks very interesting despite this being funny. It might be proof that he is indeed a professional thief. And even funnier thing about all this is that we see little Freddy has a natural inclination to be a policeman. When Peppa and Susie are talking about the future, and we see what seems to be the girl's imagination showing them years ahead, they pass by adult Freddy, and he's already a policeman. Maybe Freddy will arrest Mr. Fox in the future. Who knows? But one thing is sure, there's something fishy going on with Mr. Fox. Now, let's talk about one of the most disturbing questions about Peppa Pig. In the episode The Fire Engine, we see Daddy Pig and his soccer team meeting for a barbecue. When we look at the characters in the barbecue, We can see that there is a zebra, a rabbit, and a pony who are vegetarians. But besides them, we also have Mr. Bull and Mr. Pig at this barbecue. And the two represent the two largest groups of meats used in barbecues worldwide, beef and pork. So what kind of barbecue can a group of animals like this make? It's really disturbing to think about, isn't it? So far, we've never seen any of the characters facing straight in Peppa Pig. Absolutely in all Peppa's drawings, her characters are seen sideways, regardless of whether they are animals or humans. We only see them in profile, and even seeing them all sideways, we always see their two eyes, which raises the suspicion that if we were to look at the characters from the front, would they have 4 eyes? In fact, surprisingly, the only characters to which this premise does not apply are the vegetables, such as Mr. Potato, who is seen practically facing us. Another unanswered question in Peppa Pig's cartoon that surely intrigues a lot is how do the animals that would be predators feed in the world of Peppa Pig? For example, in the episode where George gets sick and the family calls Dr. Bear, and as we all know, bears are one of nature's biggest carnivores. In this case, a house full of cute and succulent little pigs would be quite an opportunity for him. But of course, he is just a doctor and went to the pig family's house just to say what everyone already knew, that George was cold. Besides Dr. Bear, we see that Daddy Pig was responsible for designing a house where a family of wolves would live. And in this episode, we even had a quick reference to the story of the 3 little pigs, remembering that in it, the intention of the wolf was to eat the 3 little brothers for dinner. Besides these two, we can't forget about the lion and the crocodile who work at the zoo in Peppa City. We noticed that among all, the only person who was frightened by these ferocious animals was Madame Gazelle. So, the question is, what do they eat on a daily basis? After all, is it vegetables? All the animal families live in houses on top of huge hills. The creators of the show said they drew the houses this way because they're supposed to resemble a kid's drawings. They wanted to make the show from a kid's point of view, and they just thought it would be funny to make the houses on top of super steep hills. But not everyone has a house on a hill. The rabbit family lives in a burrow inside a hill. When the rabbit kids come to Peppa's house, little Richard Rabbit cries because he's scared of the stairs. Rebecca Rabbit explains that they don't have stairs in their house. The next day, when Peppa and Georgie come over to the rabbit house for a play date, they are surprised to find out that the rabbit family lives underground. They have to crawl through a dirt tunnel to get to their bedroom, and apparently all they can afford to eat are carrots, which they claim to love. So, why is the rabbit family literally dirt poor? Is this town prejudiced against rabbits? This is kind of messed up. And talking about Rabbit, let's discuss about Miss Rabbit's jobs. Why does she work so many jobs? Apparently, Miss Rabbit has been a helicopter pilot, rosary clerk, librarian, bus driver, ice cream merchant, train driver, recycling center operator, and ticket booth attendant. So, what's in those carrots? How is she able to do all those jobs? Some viewers think she might have cloned herself. Or maybe Miss Rabbit is a workaholic to compensate for her deep feelings of oppressive sadness at the fact that she's forced to live underground in a burrow, while everyone else gets a house on a hill. We're just speculating here, but it seems the system is rigged against the rabbits. One of the weirdest things about the show is that some of the animals are just normal animals, like the ducks at the park and their goldfish. Meanwhile, Peppa Pig and her friends and family all talk and have human qualities. Why is that? Why do some animals behave like humans, and some behaves just like a normal animal? So, what do you think? Have you noticed any other strange details? If you have, then let us know in the comments, and as always, we'll see you all in the next video.